Good morning, students. All of you, once again, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
To today's class. The same lesson, that is human relations. Part A, reading comprehensions. So, the writer and his father both are walking to the bus stop. The name of the bus stop was Dhiram. Finally, both father and his son reached the bus stop Dhiram. And when they entered the tea shop for having tea, and they are about to sip. 14 very poor attendance. We are strictly warning.
Hello, sir. Sir, good afternoon.
Please see that many students have to attend. Almost all students have to attend. Only 14 members are present today. The number is decreasing. You have to explain to our officers also. Why you are neglecting the classes? You are changing the time also. Okay. Every student must take part in attending the class, Zoom class. Okay. Sincerely, once again, I am instructing you, all of you, to make phone calls to your friends. We are also doing the same job. Ram Kumar sir and Suresh, Mas Suresh, and Nagarjuna. 4 teachers are mobilizing, even though you are not turning up. What is the reason? Explain to me. I won't accept the poor attendance. I am also calling some parents, discussing with them. Why so many absentees? It is for you. The program is for you. With lots of difficulties, we are engaging the classes. Okay. So now, when they are taking tea at the bus stop, father heard the voice. He heard the writer heard the voice from his father. What was it? Do you have a pair of old shoes? Pair. What did I say? Pair means two. Two. Couple.
Pair.
Couple of pens. 2 pens. Pair. Is a pair. Okay. In this way, he is questioning his son. Do you have a pair of shoes? That is extra in his meaning. Why? I ask. Very important lines I told you yesterday. Please underline these words, last lines in this passage, in the page. Why I asked? I refers to the writer. The writer asked, why? Why you are asking, Daddy, Father? Because the road is uneven. The road is not good. It is filled with plenty of small stones. What is the pebbles? What is the pebbles? Pebbles is nothing but small stones. They will hurt the writer when he was walking in the road and when he is returning to his village. Up to that, we discuss. And then, next, coming to the next paragraph. I looked at my father's bare feet. Never having worn shoes, his feet had developed cracks and somehow resembled those of an elephant. Suppose go page next page. I looked at the father's bare feet. Feet. Singular or plural? It is a plural form of food. Food is a one singular. Feet, plural. It is in LKG and UKG. Okay. Foot, feet. I looked at the father's barefoot feet. So who looked at father's feet? The writer or his son. The writer looked at the feet of the father. How was it? It was bare foot, bare feet. What does it mean? Nothing. Nothing he was wearing. Huh? He was wearing nothing. No chappals, no shoes at all. Feet are bare without chappals. Never having worn shoes, his feet had developed crack. Crack. What is a crack? You see, if you were a father's feet, for example, or some of you also want to check your feet, there are some cracks behind on the back of the foot. Because of old age, it may occur, or hard work, or working in the fields, the foot become like cracks. Some cracks are there. It developed, moreover, all and around the feet of that for his father, and somehow resembled those of an elephant. Resembled. What is the meaning of resembled? What is the meaning of resembled? Look like, same as like of an elephant. If you see the foot of the elephant, very long, thick legs the elephant has, isn't it? When you look at the elephant's leg, his father's foot is also same, resembles like, same alike. I noticed this for the first time. This time was the first time to the writer. Why? He looked at his father's bare foot, bare feet, and noticed that there are so many cracks. I had not noticed that the road was uneven because he was wearing shoes. The writer was wearing shoes, so he didn't notice that the road was uneven, filled with pebbles. I did not have to, since I was wearing a pair of hunting boots. Hunting boots. What are hunting boots? వేటగాళ్ళు వేసుకునేటువంటి పాదరక్షలు, బూట్లు. They are very lengthy, very big in size, up to that knee part. Up to knee part, they are wearing the shoes. That is called hunting boots. There is also a jeep. In some pictures also you come across the robbers, the thieves may worn it. Yeah? It is also having jeep. They will pull the jeep up to that knee part, isn't it? No need to wear socks and all these things. They are putting their foot into the boot, and it is a very long size shoes up to the knee part. That is called hunting boot. The hunters especially wear when they go for hunting. So such a type of shoes the writer was having, so that he did not have any trouble to walk on the pavements. I checked my wallet. Underline these sentence, and I saw still had around ₹40 with me. Important lines for your passage. I checked my wallet. I refers to who here? Again, I refers to the writer. The writer now checked, looked, is looking. My wallet. What is a wallet? Simple term, simple word. Wallet means a purse. Purse you have.
ఓయ్
పర్స్ మన
పుర్లే
డబ్బులు పెట్టుకుంటాం,
ఇల్లు ఇల్లు
ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి చీటీలు రసీదులన్నీ కూడా పెట్టుకొని ఉంటాం. Isn't it? Is called a wallet. Wallet is nothing but a purse. I will show you just now. I will show you the purse. And so I still had around ₹40 with me. How much money is he having in his purse? How much? Only 40 rupees. Only 4 tenths. 40 rupees only is having in his purse. A pair of canvas shoes would cost around 12. Now he's calculating in his mind. A pair of canvas shoes. You are also getting shoes very soon. Day after tomorrow, you are going to get it through Jagannath Vidya Kanuka. We are discussing uniform, bags, shoe, belt, isn't it? All these amenities we are discussing through the government. Okay, so now canvas shoes, white shoes you are wearing in PT classes, isn't it? Such a type of shoes, much cost about only 12 rupees. Father is asking for old shoes, but if I buy new shoes, they cost only 12 rupees. And the remaining amount would be enough for me to get to Bomdilia. Bomdila. What is this Bomdila? Now the writer wanted to reach Bomdilia. That is his destination. He want to reach Bomdilia, the place of his working place where he was working. Now he started from Dirang. From Dirang bus station to Bomdilia, he want to travel. So up to that, he is having some amount of money. What is the remaining amount? 40 rupees he was having. And if he buy new shoes, canvas shoes, maybe 12 rupees. So what is the remaining? 40 minus 12. How much? Subtract. 28 rupees. That 28 rupees is much enough for him to reach Bomdilia. My father protested. My father protested. Whose father? The writer's father protested. Protested means objected. Protested means objected. Don't want. I don't want. Give me an old pair. He's asking. I don't want a new pair of shoes. If it costs 12 rupees or so, I don't want to buy now. I want to have your way old pair of shoes if you have. Please give me that much is enough. You don't have to spend money on new shoes. My child, my dear child, my dear son, don't buy new one. Old shoes are enough for me. Don't spend money on it. I could not convince him to buy a new pair. I could not convince. Convince means here agree, accept. I could not convince him. Him refers to the writer. నేను నా కుమారుణ్ణి చెప్పినటువంటి మాటల్ని నేనేం చేశాను ఒప్పుకోలేకపోతున్నాడు. కొత్తదే కొనుక్కో డాడీ, కొత్తదే కొనుక్కో నాన్న అంటున్నాడు. సో he is protesting to buy new pair. Reluctantly, I gave him the hunting boots I was wearing. Reluctantly, very important word. Very important word is reluctantly means unwillingly, not willingly, unwillingly. Unwillingly, I gave him the hunting boots. Who gave hunting boots? The son. His son or the writer. The writer gave his father hunting boots. Just I told you, what is a hunting boot? It is a long shoe and up to is a knee part made of leather. I gave him the hunting boots I was wearing, which the writer or the son was wearing. It was given to his father because the road is not good. It is uneven. There are pebbles. It is a rocky area, isn't it? So that he gave it to his father. I then took out my pair of leather shoes from the trunk. So now what did he take out from his trunk? The new pair of shoes, which was kept in the trunk. He was having some pair of shoes in the trunk box. Now he opened the trunk and took the leather shoes from his trunk box, and he now trying to wear, and noticed my father's face lighting up with the contentment. At the time, when he looked at his father's face, his father was very happy man. His father's face was lighting up, వెలిగిపోతా ఉంది. With how? Contentment. What is the contentment here? Contentment is equal to meaning satisfaction, a feeling of happiness. Santosham, happiness, a feeling of happiness in his face or satisfaction. చాలా ఆహ్లాదంగా హ్యాపీగా సంతోషంగా ఉన్నాడు. కొడుకు కొత్త బూట్లు తీసుకొని ట్రంక్ బాక్స్ నుంచి వేసుకుంటున్నాడు, బయలుదేరిపోతున్నాడు, బస్ ఎక్కిపోతున్నాడు. ఇంకా see how father is, isn't it? Suddenly he looked at me and said, and also he noticed his son. He saw, he observed his son, and take care, write to us what your father say, what your mothers say when you are coming to school, before attending to the school, that is after reopening. Your elders may come up to bus stop or railway station and see that you let you in the bus, and they will make you to sit in the bus stop or in the railway station. They will say, boy, what would they say? Suppose your friend is going to abroad in an aeroplane, what would you say? What would you say? We should say bon voyage. When they are going abroad, we should say bon voyage. Suppose your friend is going, traveling to Visakhapatnam or Vijayawada, what would you say? Happy journey, bye bye, isn't it? This is the usual things we do in our daily, isn't it? Suppose you are going away from your home, your sister or mother may tell you, bye, bye Anna, bye, isn't it? Like that, his father, the writer's father is saying, take care, because he's elder person and he know the things, situations, problems, everything, so that he is giving a caution. Take care, my child, write to us, drop letters. Now there are no phones. There are no phones in olden days. Now there are phones, everyone is having. Suppose if you don't have phone, you may reach the school and ask your principal, sir, or your housemaster, and take the phone and you make a call to your parent, your father. Daddy, today I reached by 10:30 safely to my school. Everything okay, daddy? Or mother, isn't it? In this way, it is the facilities now we are having. In olden days, there were no facilities like, only you have to write a letter, only you have to write a postcard or inland letters. Now you are also having WhatsApp facilities, messages, so many Zoom apps, so many facilities we are having now. We are enjoying it. Okay. So now father instructed his son, take care, boy, and also write letters frequently. Father wanted to say something, but the bus started moving. Father is now coming to me, nearing to the bus stop. I got into the bus and sat on my seat, and the bus is about to move. When bus is about to move, my father is likely to say something, but the bus started from, what is the name of that stop? Bus stop? Dirong. Dirong is the bus stop. I saw my father gradually receding into the distance. Receding. Underline the word. Write it in your notebooks, in your daily notebook, workbook. Receding means move back. Move back. He is behinding, lagging. The bus is, as the bus is moving, bus going faster and faster. And slowly, gradually, slowly, father is receding, is moving back to the village. I saw that the road we had come by looked like a giant motionless road. How the roads are, it is uneven, it is filled with pebbles, and it is a rocky terrain. The word terrain is used to refer uneven, not good, not clear. Okay, and the road in which they traveled, they walked is not good. Look, it is looking like a compared to a giant, like giant here means big in size, big motionless rope. It is like father would use the same road to go back home. Is there any new way, new road, or any vehicle to go back to his village? No, he have to travel. He have to go in the same path, same way in which they came, isn't it? So he have to travel in the same road. But one thing, now he is having shoes. What type of shoes? Hunting shoes, hunting boots. Simultaneously, our journeys started simultaneously, one after the other. Now the boy is traveling. He is having a journey in the bus, and the father is on foot. On foot, you must say, not by walking. Huh? Isn't it? You must say on foot. He is walking on foot. On foot, he is now going back to his village. Simultaneously, our journeys started in two opposite directions. It is in two opposite directions. Bus is going in this way to Bomdilia, and father is returning back to his village in his opposite directions. With me seated in the luxurious seat of a bus, and father walking back with weary legs on the pebble-strewn road. You see how the writer is thinking at last. The lesson is concluding with these lines, very beautiful lines here. So now he is sitting in the luxurious seat, very comfortable. You see, luxurious buses are there, super luxury, semi-luxury, Volvo bus, isn't it? How the seats are in the bus. Have you traveled any time, anywhere? Suppose we have a Hyderabad bus from Satyaved to Hyderabad. So many students are coming to our school from Kurnool, Kadapa, and Tirupati, even from. Charge is very high, high charge. You have to pay double the charge. But the seats are very luxury, comfortable. You may relax, isn't it? It is a very good facility. It is a luxurious seat in the bus. The sun is traveling. But if you see the comparison, the son is sitting in a luxurious seat in the bus, even maybe AC bus, and the father now have to walk back to his village. How? With a very legs. Immediately he should walk. No chance of sitting and relaxing. Now he should walk, and he should take some tiredness. Very legs, very tired. Very legs here means very, very tiresome. On the pebble-strewn road, pebbles again, the same word is used. Strewn road, that is, road is laden with stones, is not good. Only pebbles of stones are laid on the road. In such a way, they have to walk. So now father is going back to his village, and the writer is now going back to his working place, that is called Bomdilia. Now the journey started from, the travel started, a trip started from which place? Dirang, from Dirang to Bomdilia. So this is the lesson about journey. This is lesson about journey. So do you like the lesson? Do you like the lesson? Yes or no? Yes, definitely we like the lesson. Why? Because a father has taken lot of pains, isn't it? He took a lot of pain. You see, he walked on the Pebbles Road. It is a sterile road, and there are no portraits. He himself carried the luggage on his forehead. And with a great difficulty, he walked even though he was an old man. And also, you see how much affection and love he is having towards his son. Okay. So now, come to the reader. Now, if you see the page number 81 of the reader, you have some glossary. Some glossary is nothing but meanings. Some difficult words are explained. I gave you so many words when and where. It is invited. It is required. You felt difficulty. And now here are some words that are explained in our same language. What is our language? English. English is our language now. You are learning English, isn't it? You must speak English only. In the panel group, if you see, one girl student from Pileru is speaking fluently, isn't it? About this Zoom class. Very fantastic, very appreciable. Our AGOs are also requested our principal to send it in the group so that so many students will see and observe, and you may be motivated. Don't feel fear, shy. Try to speak at least small words, sentences. Okay. Learn all the words, and then time is also coming up. Now I will give you one homework for you. Please look here. Please look here. I will paste it the homework. This is a page for homework. Please make a note in your notebooks. Please write. I will read out the homework, the question. Writing. It is about writing. In this story, what is the story? The journey. The journey, the author says, my education had made me shun physical labor. This is an adverse effect of education. Now write an essay on the adverse effects of education. Here are some points. Using the hints that I have given here, please write 2 to 3 paragraphs, not less than 15 to 20 sentences. Okay. Doing some work that involves physical labor, dress or fashion, family relationships, giving respect to elders, and the treatment of illiterate people. Basing on these things, you must write an essay on the adverse effects of education. Okay, dear students, keep in mind the homework and complete it. Okay, in my next class I will check up, or else you please send it in the WhatsApp also. And then now here is one passage for you to listen, isn't it? You are going on listening, but you have to read yourself. Okay, you have to comprehend. You have to comprehend the paragraphs in the lesson. One paragraph, next paragraph, and another paragraph, so on. Read silently. Read silently and underline the difficult words which you feel, and get the dictionary, take the dictionary, consult it, and write the meanings of such difficult words on the top of the words you underline, or maybe in your separate notebook, and read again and put some questions yourself. When you are reading silently, put some questions yourself or write it down on the notebook. Then again go into the passage. Then it is very, very clear to you. Okay, already I taught you the story, the lesson. It is not a story, it is a lesson. Okay, and then now here is one passage for you in the reader. I will read out now for your listening purpose. First of all, today I will read out just to listen. Okay, what you have to do is to listen only. All of you, if you have the readers with you, please close it, shut it down. Don't look, only your aim is now to listen and follow my reading. I will read once. Under unit number 3, it is the passage. Once there was a rich man. His name was Dhanraju. He had 2 sons, Ganiraju and Potharaju. Ganiraju was hardworking and obedient. He always helped his father in the fields. But Potharaju was very lazy. He never went to fields. He was disobedient to his father. He always wanted to lead a free, lavish life. So one day he said to his father, "Father, give me my share of property." The father was heartbroken. He divided the property between his 2 sons. Potharaju left home with his share. He went to a distant land, made a lot of friends, and soon spent all his property lavishly on friends, food, and drinks. All his friends left him. At that time, there was a famine, and Potharaju had no work and food. None of his friends gave him food or money. He took up the job of feeding pigs. Sometimes he had to eat the food kept for the pigs. He was very sad about his condition. He soon began to think of his father and his brother. He said to himself, "In my father's house, even the servants have enough food. They get good shelter too. But here I am struggling for food and shelter. I will go back to my father. I will beg him to take me as his servant." So decided, the dishonest son set out for his father's house. In the meantime, his father was always thinking of his second son. He would sit near the windows. He would look out at the road, expecting his son to return home. One day, Dhanaraju saw his son coming at a distance. He ran out of the house in great joy and hugged his son. His son knelt down. He said, "Father, I am not fit to be your son. Take me as your servant." So this is the passage. Now you listen. Only one time you listen to my reading. Now you understood how to pronounce some words, some difficult words maybe, if in the passage. Now what you have to do is read at home, read once or twice, read silently, okay, or ask your brother or your mother if they are educated. You listen to them, you listen to their reading, because you are not available in the school to listen to my reading several times in the classroom. Okay, listen and get the answers for the questions that I am going to ask you tomorrow. Tomorrow means not very day after tomorrow. Maybe within 2 or 3 days in the next class, probably. Okay. So now you have to do 2 things. One homework is about writing, and one is about the passage you have to read, comprehend, listen. Okay, do it. Until then, boy, we'll see you in the next class. Bye. Thank you, one and all. Do you understand my lesson now, students? All of you, do you understand the lesson? Pawan Kumar, Om Aravind, anyone?
Yes, sir.
If you do not understand, please ask me in next class. Which part you do not understand?
బాబు
మీకు ఏదైనా అర్థం కాకుండా ఏ సందర్భంలో అర్థం కాలేదు అని నన్ను అడిగారంటే, ప్రశ్నించారంటే, నేను మీకు మళ్ళీ కూడా చెప్తాను. ఎవరితో చెప్పారు, ఏం చెప్పారు, ఎక్కడ స్కూల్, ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎవరు ప్రయాణం చేశారు, ఎవరు వెళ్ళారు, all the things discuss in the form of procedure.
బాబు దీని ద్వారానే మీకు అటెండెన్స్ అంతా తీసుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. ఎగ్జామ్ కూడా పెడుతున్నారు, మార్క్స్ కూడా నోట్ చేసుకుంటున్నారు. మీరు రాయకుండా జూమ్ క్లాస్ లకి అటెండ్ కాకుండా ఉంటే ఇంకా మీకు ఆబ్సెంట్, లాంగ్ ఆబ్సెంట్ కింద వేస్తారు.
Yesterday also I gave you instruction.
మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఇక్కడ చెప్పండి, గ్రూప్ లో పెడుతున్నా, క్లాస్ ఖచ్చితంగా అటెండ్ అవ్వాలా.
Please write the questions. Please write the, that is answers.
ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఇక్కడ చెప్పండి, అందరికి చెప్పండి. ఆబ్సెంటేజ్ కానీ ఉంటే, లాంగ్ ఆబ్సెంట్ ఉంటే ఇంకేం చేయలేం. అది చెప్తున్న జాగ్రత్త. క్లాసులకు వచ్చి సార్ చెప్పేది నోట్ చేసుకోండి, ఎగ్జామ్ రాయండి, మీ మార్క్స్ అంతా నోట్ చేసుకోండి, అటెండెన్స్ అంతా నోట్ చేసుకోండి. మీరు రోజు క్లాసులు రాకుండా రోజు మెసేజ్లు పెడుతున్నాం కదా వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ లో, మీ క్లాసులకు వచ్చేదానికి ఏం చెప్పండి. మీ ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళు ఏమైనా పోవద్దు అంటున్నారా, లేకపోతే ఇబ్బంది పెడుతున్నారా? మీ ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళు అదే పనిగా ఫోన్ కూడా తీస్తున్నారు కదా మీకు.
చెప్పండి, మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఉన్నారు కదా, రే క్లాస్ కు అటెండ్ కావాలరా ఖచ్చితంగా, సార్ ఈరోజు ఈ పాఠం చెప్తున్నాడు, చదివావా, ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్ నేర్చుకున్నావా, ఈ లెసన్ అర్థమైందా నీకు, సార్ ఈ వర్క్ ఇచ్చారు కదా రాసావారా. ఒకసారి నువ్వు కాపీ కొట్టడం కాదు, ఒకసారి చదివి విను, మళ్ళీ కావాలంటే రాయి. ఓకే, encourage your